This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. Here we go. The Big Ten TV deal gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And listen, I think what happened in the pandemic was something eye-opening for a lot of TV and platforms, because sports was able to move along a lot faster than movies and TV shows and things like that. And it became a saving grace for a lot of people, and especially on TV, because you think about it, it took forever for you to get your TV shows back and movies into theaters and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, like UFC never stopped. Dana White did a fabulous job because he didn't really need the audience in the stands. So, and that sport is so individual to itself that you only need a few people. So the production wasn't really a lot of people, and you can kind of keep distance and all that kind of stuff. So you were able to get away with it. But then soccer came back and other sports came back, and they did it without the crowds because the crowds were on television. The crowds are on apps now. And so I think the pandemic did a lot to open up eyes from all these companies. And they said, okay, this is the kind of stuff that we have to have part of our repertoire, our arsenal, because if anything happens, sports seems to be the ultimate thing that can bring audiences to us, and even in tough situations like what we had with the pandemic. And because the pandemic still isn't over, and we're still in this whole stages of dealing with this crap, I think sports has become that much more important to these platforms and these TV companies. So with the additions of USC and UCLA now, the Big Ten now is hoping to earn 50% more in media rights fees. We're talking about $1.25 billion. Now it's at $1.5 billion annually. If the conference can pull it off, it would become the richest in all of college sports, with a media deal that dwarfs even the mighty Southeastern Conference. The Big Ten told FOS, that's Front Office Sports, it's grateful for the quality and quantity of potential media partners. At this time, it would be inappropriate to speculate during ongoing negotiations. Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren said publicly that the conference was finalizing negotiations. The Big Ten's current deal pays $440 million annually right now. They're going to go from $440 million to $1.5 billion. The deal includes a conglomeration of big networks, but there's growing frustration over the role of Fox Sports in the Big Ten media negotiations. Fox is the conference's primary TV partner and part owner of the Big Ten network. Fox executives are directly involved in the negotiations. Sports TV executives from ESPN, NBC, and CBS are uncomfortable submitting financial bids and sharing their information in front of rivals, which there is a conflict of interest here with all of this. So we'll see what ends up happening and who ends up winning it. But now $1.5 billion, which tells me once the SEC gets a hold of Clemson, probably Miami, and I would think Florida State also, and brings them over, and then they negotiate their future contract, they're a better conference as it is. I got to imagine it's going to hit the $2 billion mark. Right? I mean, there's nothing better than the SEC. So I would imagine that that's what's going to end up happening. That is your KSDT Sports Business Report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.